Very basic. Maybe so your code perfect for me. That's what I need.
Otherwise, just double check on your Dropbox. That will always do it. So if you want to kind of see Dropbox using your Wi-Fi,
Yeah, exactly.
Every data child over 6 years old these days complains.
Yeah, they do. I do.
You want to do like a little
Okay, everyone, we're gonna get started.
Hi, everyone. Is there a mic? No. We're going to get started.
Yeah. So hi everyone, I'm Melissa. I'm one of the founders and CEO of Ladies Learning Code. Really excited that you're all here for our first ever Wikipedia Edit-a-thon. Just a show of hands, who's been to a Ladies Learning Code event, workshop, or anything before? Okay, so lots of new faces. Just want to kind of give you a rundown of what is Ladies Learning Code and what you can expect today, and then I'll hand it over so we can all do the fun stuff, which is actually editing. But Ladies Learning Code, not-for-profit, we're in 29 cities across the country. We run hands-on, beginner-friendly digital literacy workshops for women, for youth, for educators. The kind of crux of our program really is that it's hands-on, it's beginner-friendly, and that we have this amazing community of mentors that are going to help you learn throughout the night. So there's individuals with mentor name tags, there's one back there, I'm going to wave, and there's a few scattered. If you have questions or you need help, they're there, and it's why you can learn so much in one day. We also encourage you to meet the people around you if you haven't already, and build relationships and things that'll last beyond just this workshop. So I wanted to just maybe do a little bit of housekeeping first. If you haven't figured out where the washrooms are, they're just out the hallway, and then there's a door, so to the left. The internet, and we've gotten up on it, there's a few different networks you can use. Has everybody signed up for an account as well to get started? Grabbing some food, which is awesome. We may also be expecting some parliamentarian guests throughout the evening who are going to check out what we're doing, so just to kind of flag that. We're also YouTube on air streaming the session, so people across the country can participate. So they'll be seeing this screen, which is awesome.
Just
Yeah,
this
just
screen,
this
not
screen.
you, not you.
Not you.
Just my laptop screen
Yeah.
and my voice.
Yeah, and so we're really excited to have you here to change the web, to write the web. The information is only useful if it's representative and built by a group that is representative of the one using it. So we're really excited to be here today to edit Wikipedia. Also really excited to have the support of Google, who made this whole thing possible, and we have Colin here at the back to thank for that, for this beautiful venue and food and drink. Thank you. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Tiffany, who's our lead instructor, also one of our Ottawa chapter leads, who does this tirelessly month after month, running tons of programming in our community. And she's going to walk us through how we can make the web a better place. So thank you all for being here today, and we'll get started. Take it away.
So just a little background on me. My name's Tiffany, and I run the Ottawa chapter of Ladies Learning Code, so mostly the adult workshops, and Wendy's sitting here in the corner who runs our youth programming. So if you want to talk to us afterwards, feel free to just come up, or even during, and ask us questions. But today we're going to be Wikipedia editing together. I started off as a front-end developer and started doing Ladies Learning Code as a mentor, and then eventually became sort of the chapter lead, and that's how my involvement started here. And I really love coding, and I really love building things, and so that's why I do this. So if you guys have your phones out and are tweeters or Instagrammers or anything like that, I really encourage you to use the hashtag because of her, and even look up what's coming up on that hashtag. It'll maybe give you ideas of what you can edit later on tonight. And in addition to that, feel free to tweet Ladies Learning Code or LLC Ottawa as well. So getting set up, everybody I think is online now, so we can quickly hop over this slide. We also want to make sure that you're registered for an account, because Wikipedia will flag people who are editing, more than 10 people I think it is, that edit from the same, or create accounts from the same IP address. So just make sure, or not create accounts, but go and try to edit articles all from the same IP address. So as long as we have separate accounts, there's no issue there. So today we're going to start off with some welcome and introductions and get to know everybody who's here. And then I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an intro on editing for Wikipedia and what that looks like how we actually go about doing that and how we go about changing things. And then we'll do a group example sort of together, and we'll edit together as I'm explaining what the code kind of looks like to make those edits. And then we'll open it up to edit time. So this is the hackathon part, where everybody gets to pick a topic or pick multiple topics, start to research, and just start making changes on Wikipedia and seeing those changes go live. So you guys can work individually or work in small groups. We'll get to that later. So just to start off, I want to get to know some of you guys. Maybe introduce yourself, what your day job is, how you found out about Ladies Learning Code, maybe what drew you to this event. If you're shy and you don't want to speak, that's totally fine. But I guess I kind of started. So my name's Tiffany. I am a front-end developer at Shopify, which is a commerce company here in Ottawa. Some of you probably have heard of it. And I found out about Ladies Learning Code through a late night internet search. I went down some kind of hole and I came out the other side signing up to be a mentor for Ladies Learning Code, and then that's how I started off participating with Ladies Learning Code and getting to know the women who run this program. Anybody else? Yeah.
My name's Karina. I'm a freelance writer and editor. I first heard about Ladies Learning Code. I took a class at King's College University in Halifax on data journalism.
Awesome.
And the instructor mentioned Ladies Learning Code. But what drew me to the event was my friend Sarah, who said, hey, Ladies Learning Code is doing this really cool thing, and we should go. Over to you.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah. I've been working as an in-house writer and editor for about a decade and now freelance as well. Karina and I both chair the local chapter of Editors Canada, and I may have found this through rabbit hole online as well, if not specifically Twitter, and now I can't introduce someone else.
Anyone else? Yeah.
My name is Madeline. My day job is I am the operations or general manager for a small local chain of cafes with 3 locations. And what drew me here is I discovered Ladies Learning Code a few years ago, though I haven't managed to attend as much as I would like to. When you have a small business, you go through this cycle where you decide that you absolutely have to be able to do everything because you can't pay anyone, and then you realize you only have 24 hours in a day, so you take this one, and then you go like this. So right now we're in the I have to do everything.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm currently a computer science student at Carleton, and I heard about Ladies Learning Code probably a couple of years ago, but I wasn't living in Canada at the time, or in a place where I could attend workshops. So eventually when I moved to Ottawa, it was very lonely because I didn't know anyone that came here. So I thought, okay, I'll try this out. It took me about a year to work up to it, but I finally came to one workshop last month, and it was wonderful. So I thought I'd try and mentor this time.
I think one of the biggest strengths Ladies Learning Code has is our community, and the fact that you can meet other like-minded women in a safe space and learn how to code and learn from each other and make great networking connections as well. And that's something that I think Ladies Learning Code has that is different from a lot of other workshops and things like that. So it's super helpful. Anybody? Yep.
Hi, my name is Nola, and I'm here. I just found out about this organization like a week ago from my 2 girlfriends here. We're all students. We're taking the technical writer program at Algonquin College, and we're finishing up. But I had worked in high tech for over 20 years. I stayed home to raise my kid, and now I'm re-entering the workforce. So I thought coming back out and meeting some women and getting my social networks back in going again was one place to start it here. So Cindy and I wasn't Cindy, Jen got me out here tonight, so that's what we're doing.
Cool.
You're next.
Well, I'm a technical writing student. I used to work in social services, so a big career change for me, and eventually I'd like to go into editing. So this is just a great event for myself.
There's someone at the back there.
My name is Cindy. I work in the government during the day at Industry Canada, and I love doing this stuff, so that's why I'm here.
She found it actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I took a course with you a couple of years ago on
You guys can fight for it.
My name is Mary Ann. I'm in the government as well. I'm the director at Industry Canada Audio Market. And I found out about this last week on a Facebook unwanted ad. And so I clicked on it. And I came because my last experience with this stuff was Python and one of these multiple user online course things. And it was a miserable experience. And so I'm hoping this will be my time.
Well, hopefully we can change your mind.
My name is Kayla. I'm a tech writer living at Portland. So when I saw this, I was like, why haven't I ever even tried to do this before?
Anyone else? Sure.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a librarian at Global Affairs. I don't remember how I found out about Ladies Learning Code. I'm originally from Nova Scotia and I move around quite a bit, so eventually it was like, oh, this local event, and then I was on a million mailing lists and never found the time to go to one, and now I'm finally here. So.
My name is Denise, and I'm a freelance writer and editor, but decades ago I was a trained librarian, research librarian, so there you go. And I moved to Ottawa just under a year ago from Charlottetown, and so wanted to get out and do a bit of networking, and I heard about Ladies Learning Code at the Maker Fair last 2 weeks ago, where you had a booth there. So.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a journalist and content creator online. I found out about this, I think, someone presented it in my class at Carleton a long time ago. But last year I went to your CSS HTML beginners class.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Shayla. I'm new to Ottawa, so I'm going to get into play. I found out about this because of another late night Google search.
Hey, I ended up looking at before I found the Ladies Learning Code, I found there's mermaids or mermaid outfits or a thing on YouTube. It was a really deep rabbit hole. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Felicity. I work in communications. I think this is my 4th Ladies Learning Code workshop, so I'm aiming to be Ladies Learning Code #1 fan. Cool. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here.
Awesome. Cool, so let's get started. Okay, so Wikipedia is an encyclopedia. So it's a tertiary source that provides an overview of information that's already the subject of publication. And that's something really important to remember. So the goal of a Wikipedia article is to create a comprehensive and neutral written summary of existing mainstream knowledge about a subject. So what that means is you have to be able to, all the information that you put on Wikipedia has to be verifiable and from a reliable source. And you'll notice that in a lot of Wikipedia articles, there's lots of sources listed at the bottom. We're going to talk about citation and that kind of stuff. But a lot of you seem to have writing backgrounds and have probably had your share of sourcing and citing tons of articles in the past. So that'll come in super helpful today. So the core content policies of Wikipedia, so they have to be from a neutral viewpoint, so it can't be skewed one way or the other. It needs to be able to be verified. So somebody from Wikipedia, whether that's another editor or another person online, should be able to go and find this information on the internet or from some kind of publicated source. So there's no original research on Wikipedia itself, but you can create an article that is based on original research that has been published as part of a larger scope of things. Notability is another important thing, and reliable sources. And so there's these slides. I think you guys did you guys get copies of these slides? Okay, well we can send them out afterwards, but and I can actually just put up a bit.ly link when we go to edit, so you guys can click on the links that are in these slides. It'll be really helpful because you can go through and see some of the different policies, and I also have linked off to templates and stuff that you can use. So we're going to go through some editing basics. So this is when everybody's going to get their computers out and their fingers ready. And this is adapted from the Wikipedia tutorial that's actually online. So we've taken that and we've broken it down, and we're going to do it together. So there's 2 ways of editing on Wikipedia. There's classic editing through the Wiki Markup, and that is you can basically go in and edit. You can go in and edit a Wikipedia post without ever logging in, just completely anonymous. If you can type in the Wiki Markup. And there's also a visual editor, which you can use as long as you're logged in and have created an account. So there's 2 ways of editing. Even with the Wiki Markup way, you can preview it. So there's still sort of that step where you can visually see if it's what you expected. But there's 2 ways to edit on Wikipedia. Good etiquette, or Wiketiquette, that was terrible, is to enter an explanation of your changes in the edit summary box once you're saving. So you can actually preview things and like show your changes, but there's this lovely little box here when we get into editing that you'll see when you have made an edit that's at the bottom, and you'll type in an edit summary of like what it is that you actually changed. And a short explanation is totally fine. So it can be something like fixing a typo or changing a number, updating a thing. And that's really helpful for when you have discussions, especially if somebody like wants to challenge you on something. And we'll get to that in a little bit. There's also this show preview button. So after you make a change, you can use the show preview button and it will show you what your change will look like on the Wikipedia page. It lets you see, yeah, I just did that. And then you also want to make sure that you save your work. So if you've made those changes and you've previewed them and you've filled out that little edit summary box, you actually have to hit save changes. Otherwise, you're not going to actually make the edit. Right? If you navigate away from the page and you don't hit that save changes box, your changes are going to be lost. Right? So you want to make sure that you save your changes once you're happy with them. So when we're creating new articles, the article must have already been a subject of a publication in reliable sources, such as books published by major publishing houses, before it can actually be its own article on Wikipedia. Information on Wikipedia must be verifiable, like I said before, so it can't be third-party sources on a topic. Sorry, if there are no reliable third-party sources on a topic, then it should have its own article. And then there is an article wizard that's available to help you create articles like from scratch. Today, if you want to create an article, there's again this like link and it'll walk you through the steps of like creating a brand new article and like how to put in the sections and stuff. But for us, what we're going to be showing and going through today is how to edit existing articles and update information. But by all means, if you want to create an article today, and like please go ahead and do so. The link is in the slides, so you can go ahead and update that. There are also these things called protected pages on Wikipedia. So some pages are protected from editing. It doesn't mean that you can't edit them, but you have to send in what's called an edit request. So that actually goes to like Wikipedia, and then somebody there has to like give you approval to like go in and edit that specific page. And these are things for like how Wikipedia works, for example. Like they're not gonna just let like anybody like update their README file on like how to edit Wikipedia articles, because if somebody edited that and then changed it and it was incorrect, then that would be problematic. So certain pages, especially like pages about Wikipedia and how Wikipedia works, some of them are protected, but a lot of them are editable as well. So things like history and stuff like that. There's also this idea of getting reverted, which is when somebody sees your change and says that they want to undo it. Or that the change shouldn't go through. And so that stuff is will show up in what's called the talk page. So let me just break out Wikipedia. So if I go to like a page on Wikipedia, there's the article page, and then there's also this talk page. And the talk page allows you to like have conversations about specific things on the page, and like whether or not, like especially if you've already posted something and you've been logged in and somebody reverts it, you can have a discussion back and forth as to why that thing should actually be in there. And that happens sometimes. There are people who are like adamant that certain things shouldn't be in there, so it's just good to know. So this revert and discuss cycle is a popular method of reaching consensus and may be useful for identifying objections, keeping the discussion moving forward. So what happens is people will like bold something and then have a discussion about it back and forth on that talk page until there's a consensus from like the community, and then that consensus is what gets published. So this is where you guys all bring up Wikipedia on your laptops. And we're going to go to the Wikipedia sandbox. And what this is a place for you to play and not worry about breaking anything. So you can type in whatever you want into this sandbox. It's part of the Wikipedia tutorial, but it's also something that like we are going to practice in and play in today. So if you Google Wikipedia Sandbox, you should be able to find it. So I'm pretty sure. Wikipedia Sandbox. It'll be the fourth link. So it'll say Wikipedia Tutorial Editing Sandbox. This is the one you want. And if we hit edit the source code, you are going to be able to see what you're editing. So if I hit show preview, it's given me a little preview of what I can do here. So there's my preview. So all of this is like commented out right now, so that's why you're not seeing any of this. And I've written a bunch of random text here, so that's what you're seeing right here. Okay? So all of this stuff will just be writing like below this line. You can delete this if you wanted. It wouldn't make much of a difference. I would just suggest writing below here, and we can start putting in content. Can you guys see this? Is this too small? I can make it a little bit bigger. Is that better? So we can be playing in the sandbox, and we're going to go through a few different concepts now of how we edit Wikipedia pages, like how we make titles, how we make links, all that kind of fun stuff. And you're going to be able to type into this and like test it out and see if it works for you. Okay? Does everybody have the editor open and like type something random and saw it pop up? Okay, I'm going to give a couple, like 30, like a minute for everybody to get that open and get it ready. I hit edit source code. The visual editor, you need to be logged in. You can use the visual editor, but because this is ladies learning code, I'm going to show you the code later. That is not a typo. Oops. All right, so what we're going to learn today is the markup language for Wikipedia. So what is markup? Markup is a simple language for formatting or marking up the text. It comes from print editing. So when editors would make annotations in their copy about like bold this or make this italic, this should be a heading, that's where this idea of marking up the text came from. This is a simplified alternative to HTML. So HTML is what actually makes the web. When you look at web pages, they're made up of something called HTML and CSS. HTML is like all of the content and the way, like what formats headings versus paragraphs versus like different things like that. And CSS is the way it looks. So when you have like pretty background images and colors and there's spacing and all this kind of stuff that makes the website have like a sidebar and a header, all of that comes from CSS. Today, the Wikipedia markup that we're going to be creating actually gets interpreted by the Wikipedia website and turned into HTML like when it's like saved. And that's what you're seeing in the preview, and that's what you're seeing when you save the page, is that the markup that you've written has then been converted into HTML by Wikipedia's servers. Okay? So we're going to start off by typing a couple different things. We're going to make some italic text, some bold text, and some bold italic text. So for italic text, whatever you want to be in italics, you are going to put inside quotes, apostrophes. So the single apostrophes, not the double ones. Right? So that button is right beside your return button on your keyboard, between the return button and your semicolon. Right? So you don't want to be pressing shift because that's a different character altogether. You want to be pressing just a single apostrophe tick. So for italic, it's 2 single apostrophes, your text that you want to be italic itself, and then another 2 single apostrophes to end the text that you want to be italic. So if you wrote a whole sentence out, maybe like this text is italic, and then just italicize the word italic, that would be a good example and practice way for you to see if you can italicize text. For bold, it's going to be 3 ticks and then ended by 3 ticks. And then for bold italic, it is 5 ticks. So 3 plus 2, 5. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to... Yeah, so it's like the 3 and then with like 2 on the outside of it. So a great example is this text is italic. And then if I want my text to be italic, it's 2 ticks and 2 ticks here. And if I scroll down and hit show preview, I should be able to see a preview here where this text is italic. And only the word italic is actually italicized. You guys can see that here? Is that big enough? I can also write this text is, oops, bold. And if I hit that preview button, you should be able to see the difference there. Everybody figuring it out? And then bold italic is like super crazy, right? So we have those 3 things now. Italic is 2, bold is 3, and bold italic is 5. Does anybody have any trouble? So 3 plus 3. Yeah, just combine them all. Yeah. Oh, so it's giving you the thing. It just yeah, you don't have to say that. So if you hit enter between the lines, then it'll make sense. The next thing that we're going to look at are headings and subheadings. So headings are a great way to organize your article. On Wikipedia, you'll notice that there's like sections and like different headings separate almost the sections of an article. This is how you would do that. So you have main headings, which are 2 sets of equal signs. And then you have subheadings, which are 3. So the more equal signs, the smaller or more nested the heading is. So if you have 2 equal signs, that's like the biggest heading. If you have 3 equal signs, it's something slightly smaller. And then 4 is something slightly smaller than that. So like if you're organizing your article and you're talking about apples and then types of apples, and then within types of apples you might have I don't know, a section. That's a horrible example. I'm trying to think of a better example.
What were you saying? Fruits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So you have like apples and a few different explanations of like, say for example, this is what an apple is. This is like where the word apple started from. And then you actually have specific species of apples, and then you might break that down into subcategories, explaining what each species of apple species of apple there are. So let's go ahead and try that.
Just a quick question about the headings.
Yeah.
If you just do like one equal sign on your words, and then you hit period return, and then you do another equal sign, like a single equal sign, it does the auto numbering, right? Like 1, 2.
The auto numbering? Yeah, so what happens is when there's a certain number of headings on a page, Wikipedia will automatically format that into like the little table of contents where it like jumps down.
Yeah.
But you won't get that unless you have like, I think it's at least 4 sections.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so until there's enough sections that like a table of contents is useful, Wikipedia will automatically create that table of contents.
So then less than 4, it's not going to number them.
I can't guarantee you that it's 4, but we could try it right now.
I did, so that's
Yeah.
why I was asking, because I noticed it
Yeah.
does all this numbering, so that's
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll calculate how like whether or not it's going to give you a table of contents based on how many headings and like how many subheadings and stuff that you have in there. And it'll generate that automatically. You don't have to like make a box and like all of that kind of stuff. So you'll notice that the double equal sign gives you that sort of main heading with the line across, which is how we normally see Wikipedia articles structured. So if I'm, again, looking up Wikipedia Apple, there's like the main heading of the page, and then you have all of these, this table of contents is generated by these headings that are the 2 equal signs. And then this would be the 3 equal signs here. So if I hit edit, like you can go in on any page on Wikipedia, feel free to like open up a Wikipedia page and hit edit. You'll see all of the wiki markup that is creating the page. And you can see like, oh, if you see something on a Wikipedia page and you want to like do something similar with your editing of an article, just go and hit edit on that article that you like the thing and go and find it in the article and copy and paste whatever is there. And then you can hit preview and see if it works. A lot of coding is like trial and error and testing and seeing if something works. And that's why I have you guys have this sandbox open so that you can test things and see whether or not it works right away. There's also subscript and superscript. So there's these things called the sub tag and the sup tag. This is actually HTML. So we're kind of using this weird hybrid of HTML and wiki markup. But you can actually put this on any web page, and like sub and sup elements will work and render. So sub is for subscript. So if you wanted something below, and then sup is for superscript. So say for example, like you're doing a degrees sign or something, like however many Fahrenheit or Celsius, you would want to put the degrees symbol in a sup. Or like say you wanted to have just superscript text, sorry. So if you guys want to try that, you're welcome to. So the HTML formatting capabilities are limited, and the reason for this is Wikipedia wants to be able to control, to some degree, what the content looks like on their site. If they let people put in any HTML that they wanted, people could kind of create wacky things. And so there's only certain HTML tags that will work. And those tags are listed on Wikipedia's website. You can go and see what they are. But Ladies Learning Code, if you want to learn how to build web pages, we do run full-day workshops on HTML and CSS. Our next one is November 19th. It's currently sold out online, but we're going to be releasing a new set of tickets very soon for the same day. And it'll be here in Ottawa. The next thing that we'll look at is linking Wikipedia articles together. So linking a Wikipedia article to another Wikipedia article is super helpful for readers when they want to jump through information. So they're reading about something and it's describing the origins of an apple. And there's an article that describes the Latin word for apple, say for example. Well, it might make sense to actually link to that Latin word. But too many links can be distracting. So you only want to link the first occurrence of a word or phrase and don't link common words. So you have to be strategic with how you link because other people will go back in and revert or remove links if it's like too distracting or there's just too many of them in there. Because it becomes difficult to read if everything is blue and underlined. People don't know where to click and you probably aren't going to get through your whole article without somebody navigating to another page if that's the case. So there's Wiki Links versus external links. So when a Wiki link is like linking from one page to another within Wikipedia, and then there's external links linking out to like a website or a different source. So to make a link to another Wikipedia page called a Wiki link, you're going to put it in double square brackets like this. So you'd put 2 square brackets around the term that you're linking to. And the way that you find that term would be in the URL bar of the wiki page that you want to link to. So the wiki page that you're looking to link to will have, say for example, here, it's Apple Inc., right? So if I wanted to link off to this page, I think it includes the period actually. Maybe let's just do regular Apple. I'm going to copy this. And in my tutorial, I might actually link this is an apple. And if I show preview of this, it should be linked. And I should be able to click on this. I'm going to command click to open it in a new window. And it should open up the link to my article on Wikipedia. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, can you just go back to that source line again? The link it?
Sorry, how to link?
No, it's not how to link, I just wanted to see the source line. So this is an apple, you use 2 square brackets as a sign.
Yep, and then this text, what you're linking to is the end of the URL here. So you have to go to the Wikipedia article that you want to link to, and it's whatever is after wiki slash. That's like the handle that you're basically putting inside those 2 brackets that will link to that article on Wikipedia.
So the square brackets we don't use for other Wikipedia pages.
You also use them for external links as well, but you'll only use single ones. So we'll get to that. But how about everybody try to find an internal Wikipedia article right now and link? And if you want to change the display text, so say for example you're linking to an article that's really like has a really long title or something like that, and you want to change the text that's actually clickable, you would put in the text that you want to be clicked, and then the link after.
Just a pipe in between.
Sorry, the link,
And like shorten the link then.
the link, and then the text. Yeah, with the pipe in between. So the pipe is on your keyboard above your return key, and you have to hit shift to get the pipe. So if I'm linking to, oops. if I'm linking to Apple here, and I put a pipe, this is a link to Apple. I can type in a bunch of text after my pipe, and that will be the text that's actually clickable, linking to the Apple article. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Yeah, no problem. So the first part inside is that link to the article. So whatever the end of the URL is. So if I'm linking to the page called Apple, it's going to be Apple. And then I put a pipe. And if I want to change the text that's actually clickable on the page, I can write in whatever I want after the pipe.
Right, okay, so the thing is that when we're doing the link, that text that we have inside the square brackets.
If you don't put a pipe, it'll just be the text.
So here are the two sections.
So if you look at the
I don't need to. Yeah, no, I
so so you have to copy
So this is going to replace my present. So
But then that's not super pretty to click on, right? Because it's your store. So if you wanted to make it prettier to click on, you would put a pipe and then yeah.
not going to show the first part.
No, it'll just link. So if you paste it, that's the user. And then just have put a name, and then put whatever text you want. You don't need to put a space. Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing is external links. So external links are links to websites with significant and reliable additional information on an article's topic. So only a few per article are usually recommended. And to add a new external link, all you have to do is type inside a single set of square brackets the actual link itself, so the URL. So if you have the web page open, you can copy the URL from the address bar in your browser and then just paste it directly into two square brackets or single square brackets. Two being the one at the beginning and the one at the end. So if you wanted to link off to, say, the Google website on the article about Google, this would be a good case to do that, right? Or if there's an article about Ladies Learning Code, to link off to the Ladies Learning Code website, perhaps for the words Ladies Learning Code, that would make sense as well. So it's really important to include references when listing websites. Newspapers, articles, books, other sources, when we're using to write and expand articles. So we want to make sure that we can reliably cite where we're getting our information from, especially when we're updating articles with new information. And so I've actually linked to, and I'll give you guys the link after, so when you're editing, you can go through. But I've linked to this like Wikipedia citation templates. So there's a bunch of like copy and paste code, so like how to cite a book on Wikipedia, and then like you can just replace this information. So this is an example. And it would create a citation at the bottom of the Wikipedia article. I'm sure a lot of you have like seen that before. So if I go to the Apple article and I scroll down to the very bottom, oh, there's a lot on apples. Okay. But scroll all the way down to the bottom. These are the citations, and you'll notice that there's like a lot of formatting and like external links that go out, as well as like where it's coming from. So these citation templates help you build out those things. And so it'll give you different ways of citing, say, a book versus a journal, paper, thesis, dissertation, versus a website, versus a comic, etc. And you can actually just like copy this code and paste it in, like as you're typing, and what it'll do is it'll throw in the citation at the bottom. References are typically added directly after the facts they support. And so a citation system is allowed to just footnotes or parenthetical references. If you wanted to put a footnote in, all you have to do is put in the ref tags around your citation. So you would still paste in your citation, but then you would put an opening ref tag and a closing ref tag around that citation, and it'll automatically create the footnote at the bottom, and then what looks like a little footnote like link beside your text. So like the number 1 or 2, and it'll auto increment them depending on how many citations exist in your article.
So we still have to go fill the footnote in after, right?
Hmm?
We still have to go.
No, so the footnote's automatically created for you when you put in your citation inside a ref. Inside the 2 ref things. So, yeah. Yeah, I can show you guys an example in the Ladies Learning Code. For example, here these are all like footnotes. And you'll notice that there's like these little numbers beside things. So if I go in all the way back to the top, the first footnote is somewhere up here. It starts at 3. I don't know why I can't see number 1. Anyway, if I hit edit, oh, this one's a locked article. So apparently apples are.
If we do use source code on a page that's unlocked, we'll be able to see how they do the rest.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So if I go to the Ladies Learning Code page, you'll see like these guys here, and they have like these little hovers and everything. If I hit edit and I go in, you'll notice that there's citations in here, so those curly brackets and then cite and a bunch of stuff, and they're inside these ref HTML tags. And so what happens is you'll just put that inline in the article as you're writing where you want your citations to be, and then once you hit save or preview, you'll see the footnotes appear at the bottom of the page. You'll get the little numbers. When you hover over them, you'll see the pop-ups. So all of that just happens automatically.
Cite a keyword that we have to use, or is it just we can just put in like URL, web URL?
No, cite is a keyword. So the citation templates are specific to like how to cite articles and different types of information. So whether that's a website, usually is what people are linking off to, or a book or an article online. Those things, court cases, encyclopedias, edited collections. So you'll notice all of these say like site mailing list. Yeah.
Is that using curly brackets for the list?
It'll be different. Like all the citations are generally curly brackets, the word cite, and then they're all formatted differently depending on the type of media.
Okay, so when we're doing this ref, so
Yeah.
we do the ref, we do the source, so it's like it's the tag ref.
Yep, so you'll have an opening ref tag, then you'll put your site option
And
inside.
then your source,
Yeah.
and then the closing ref tag.
Yep, you're closing curly brackets for your site, and then you're closing ref tag. Yeah. With media files, such as images, sounds, and videos, or a file, there's different ways of linking to them. Usually a file that's already hosted on Wikipedia can be inserted with this code here. So you would use the square brackets, double square brackets, and you would write file, colon, and then the file name with whatever size of image that you want to include, whether it's a thumbnail or like large, medium, small. And then a description. If you want to upload files and upload your own images that you have the rights to use, then you have to be logged in, and you would use the file upload wizard in the actual visual editor. Okay. So again, just to go over, talk pages are like this key feature of Wikipedia. It's a place to discuss articles. If you have a comment, question, or suggestion for an article, you can put it directly on a talk page. So you just click on the talk tab, and then again, there's a more detailed explanation of like how to interact and like what to do. But I want to get to like open edit time, and then we can walk around and help people with like editing when you guys get stuck and stuff. So again, if you're not sure, like if you haven't come sort of prepared with like an idea in mind of like what you wanted to change, go to the Because of Her hashtag on Twitter and like see what like topics or people are talking about, and maybe that'll give you some inspiration. Think about something that you might have a really specific interest in, and you might actually have a lot of knowledge about and know what are good sources and such online to sort of add to that topic specifically, and you could go in and update those things as well. But I want to start editing as soon as possible so we can just start hacking away. So Wikipedia not only allows you to create, revise, and edit articles, but it wants you to. So you can't break Wikipedia. It'll fix itself if you write something and like it's wrong, somebody else will come along and fix it. So don't worry about like making mistakes. Like we're all here to learn and code and write stuff together. Collaborative editing means that an incomplete or poorly written first drafts can like evolve over time into excellent articles. So if you like have a first draft of an article and it's like not that great, somebody might come along and make it better. And like that's how Wikipedia works. Not all the first articles that are written on Wikipedia are like these super full-fledged out things. If you go look at the Ladies Learning Code article, it's actually really bare right now. And my goal tonight is to flush it out a little bit more. Maybe add in all the different chapters and stuff like we have. Because right now it's a paragraph. So if you're not sure where to start, peruse the Because of Her hashtag to enhance women's pages. You can add our Edit-a-thon to the Wikipedia listing even of how to run an Edit-a-thon. And then there's a listing at the bottom of all the different Edit-a-thons that have happened. If you want to try doing that. Feel free to update our Ladies Learning Code page with all their chapters. Somebody can like work collaboratively with me to do that. You could create a page for Canada Learning Code because that's a new initiative that we have that doesn't have an article yet on Wikipedia. Maybe you have a company that you work for that's listed on Wikipedia and has no information on it. That's something that you could also edit. Or update a page of someone you know. So maybe there's like a famous person that you kind of know. Maybe you can update their page. The other thing that we want you to do is share what you've edited today. So again, you can share online with the hashtag Because of Her. What pages did you edit? Feel free to take pictures of like what you guys are doing and like the friends that you've met, and we'll just get started editing. Okay, so special thank you to Google again for sponsoring us. And we're gonna start editing. Feel free to like put your hand up if you have a question. Myself, Wendy, or another mentor will come around and do our best to help you. There's certain things on Wikipedia that even I don't know, so we'll figure them out together. Okay, good luck. I'm gonna put some music on.